Hi, I'm Alex McKinnon, the founder and CEO of Kinn, and I'm delighted to be here with you today to talk to you about the innovation mindset and how to become an innovator. And I'd like to start off with the story of why the Kinn team created the innovation mindset and what's in it for you. Based on decades of experience and research, it shows that about 2.5% of the population are actually innovators, and these people typically have some of the greatest odds of becoming very successful. So the problem is, if that's not who you are today, to realize your full potential, you need to change. And you can choose to change your mindset and learn and teach others to learn. And based on all of this research, based on decades of experience that the Kinn team and others have had involving a lot of failure as well as successes, we've created the 10 essentials. We've helped create this innovation mindset to help you choose to be happier and more successful. And to get started today, or to begin, you need to engage with this video, and you'll learn how to get your free handout, which summarizes everything with more information at the end of the video. And how this works is you adopt the 10 essentials, you start off on a path, you learn, you live, and you share with others for your journey. Why it works is because it helps increase happiness and improve life and business success. And we're going to do this today with about 10 different stories, some different lessons. And at the end, we're also going to share some amazing books with you that if you're interested, you can read to learn even more. And what's in it for you today? We hope to help you enjoy life's journey more and realize a lot more of your potential. What we're going to do is we're going to go one by one. We're going to go through each one of the 10 essentials to help you have a holistic view of how you can become an innovator. And the first essential we're going to talk about today is adopting a growth mindset. And a growth mindset believes that talent and success come through effort. And here's a great story that exemplifies this. Maggie Williams, who's the founder and CEO of Skiptown, has achieved amazing success only after pivoting from her original business, which was called Skipper. And in terms of the problem, she was in the dog walking and pet sitting business before COVID. And many of you know that once COVID struck, the dog walking and pet sitting segments were very sadly affected. And she figured out she needed to make a lot of changes, and she needed to make them quick. The climax of this story is she opened a new pet care facility here in Charlotte in the spring of 2020. And then in August of last year, 2020, she opened Skiptown. And after being open just 5 months, Skiptown now has over 10,000 human clients and over 12,000 pet guest clients, which is an amazing achievement in 5 months. And what are some of our observations about how she's achieved this? She and her team set goals, they express gratitude, they focus on constant improvement, they fail often, but they fail fast. They're accountable, and they're always focusing on helping one another. And so how does this work? You need to believe that talent and success come through effort. Why it works? Well, they now have 2 locations in Charlotte that are booming despite COVID, and now they're expanding to Dallas and later into Atlanta. And they've got financing all lined up for this. And what's the benefit out of this lesson for you? One of my favorite quotes from Nelson Mandela, he says, "I never lose. I either win or I learn." Moving on to the next one, which is ongoing education. I'd like to share a story with you how a leading industry pet care services consultancy practices ongoing education to benefit themselves, but motivated by helping their clients. And his background, the dog gurus knew from their coaching programs that using video in business was something that was increasing and important, something they weren't doing a lot of, and it became an important goal. The problem was they didn't really know exactly how to do it. And so just to get started, they created a brand video and they created a YouTube channel in 2019, and it was a great beginning. The climax is shortly after this, COVID hit. Boy, did the industry need all of their help. So they started doing Facebook Lives and really engaging, really helping their clients. They started adding these to their YouTube channel. And then they got an invitation from an organization called Video Attraction Lab. And in terms of closure of this learning, some of the learnings they've shared with us is solutions take time. You need to focus on learning, capitalizing on opportunities. Don't give up despite all of this. And they've gone in less than 6 months, they've gone on their YouTube channel from having 4 videos under 10 subscribers to now having over 80 videos and 210 subscribers, again, all less than 6 months. How this works, you keep learning and you capitalize on opportunities. Why it works? Because you're helping others and growing your business. The benefit for you is this helps ensure your long-term success, both personally as well as professionally. The next area we're going to move on to, the next essential, is teaching others these tips. And we're going to share a story with Ben Day, who's the COO of IBPSA, and he's going to tell us how this works to make businesses really thrive. In terms of background, he had a Texas pet care facility client, and they had meaningful retention and employee issues due to injuries, which he knew how to fix. The problem was they weren't doing anything related to a safety program. So he helped them start a safety program. This helped address a lot of the injuries that their team had been experiencing, like back problems and the associated increased cost, and then employees leaving. And the climax of this is he visited this client, and he was going around the facility, and he was amazed in a positive sense. The owners were so motivated to create a safety program, is they would literally, the second he would point out a problem, they would fix it themselves, like pull out a ladder, get up and hammer a nail, or they would put a team member on it right away and not waiting to get it done. And in terms of closure for this, or the learning, is after introducing the safety program, morale and retention went up through the roof. Their insurance cost and workers' comp cost went way down. And within 18 months, they had saved tons of money, so much so that this would fund adding new employees. And so how does this work? You implement safety programs, and IBPSA can help in that area. Why it works? Because you end up with happier employees, lower costs, more profits, and the owner is going to be happier. And what's kind of the emotional benefit for you? Well, doesn't it feel great to help others achieve their dreams? Moving on to the next essential, which is networking, one of my favorites. And we have a story today from Courtney Emkin, who's the owner of Dog Boys near Austin, Texas. And she is a 25-year industry pioneer, and she's a big fan of networking and how it can help you bring in a lot of new business every year. As background, she opened up about 25 years ago. They were able to achieve a lot of growth over the next 18 years. And then about that time, their formula for ongoing growth was starting to diminish in terms of returns. And the problem was she couldn't afford to advertise, and she tried some networking, and because they hadn't figured out how to do it, it wasn't really initially working. Then she joined a networking organization called BNI, and she's pointed out there are other organizations that can do this. and they have chapters all around the world and around the country. So she joined BNI because they really taught her how to not only do networking, but to make it work. And she tracked incredible increases in her business. In 2017, she got over $22,000 in new business from referrals. 2018, 32,000. 2019, 27,000. In 2020, despite COVID, she got over $21,000 in new business. She even has one client that does over $1,000 a month with her who was referred. And basically the closure, what's the formula that she learned is you need to help other businesses. And when you help other businesses, they'll start to like you, then they will know you, then they will trust you, then they will refer you. In her case, she offered 10% discounts to people she was referring. And it really has taken off and brought her a lot of business. And the motto of BNI is givers gain, and it's true. So how does it work? Well, you help others and they help you. And I want to point out a very important thing that Courtney taught us, and that there's a huge difference between referrals and leads. Leads are like cold calls, and you don't want leads. You want referrals, which is basically warm calls when somebody else has already spoken very favorably of you in advance. Why does this work? Well, it's a proven way to build trust. And what's the benefit for you? Well, as another wise person told me once, your network is your net worth. Moving on to the next essential, which is partners. And we're going to tell you a story about how 5 pet care facilities that were separately owned in Houston went from being competitors to being partners. As background, there were these 5 Houston facilities. They were all going through pain points with their staff, with pet guests and their health, how they spend their time, clients, sustainability, etc. And these 5 resorts are ABC Pet Resort, Meadow Lake Pet Resorts, Bayside Bed and Biscuit, Urban Tales, and Rover Oaks. And the problem is they were all having these problems, and it was really hard to come up with solutions for all these problems on their own. And more competitors were coming into the Houston market. The climax is the founder of Rover Oaks, Steve, invited many of the local competitors to dinner, and he announced that he wanted to open a second location in Houston near many of them. And it blew everybody away so positively. It created instant trust that he invited in a lot of his competitors, shared his plans, and it was a great precedent. And since then, they've been collaborating. They get together at least once a year in person. They collaborate all the time on all these pain points: staff, pet health, time, clients, etc. And how does this work? It's about a growth mindset and networking. Why it works? Because 5 businesses are always going to have a lot more solutions than one. And what's the benefit for you? You get to do something that's fun. You spend a lot more time with folks who share your vision and your values. Moving on to the next essential, which is unlimited idea source. We're going to share with you a story from Stephanie Shipley, the owner of Paw and Order in Canada, on getting ideas from all over. As background, Stephanie shared with us that most days, pre-COVID, even in COVID, there's really not a lot of time to learn to improve skill sets of employees, to retrain them and focus on their career development. And the problem with that is businesses and people stall without education and development. The climax of this is we're coming up to the IBPSA virtual conference last fall, and they assigned each one of their 10 team members to watch individually each one of the 10 IBPSA educational sessions, and then to create a 20-minute presentation, which they would deliver to the entire team. So shortly thereafter, on a Thursday evening, after they shut down the facility, they invested 4 hours over pizza and sodas to educate all the team members. Not only did they all have a great time, they all learned a lot. And the first question was, when can we do this again? So how does this work? Well, you involve all the team members. You get ideas from all, and everybody's going to learn. Why it works is because collaboration is a great way to benefit your staff, and it's great for everybody. The benefit for you is being open to unlimited sources makes you way more efficient as well as effective. The next essential we're going to talk about is accelerating with scale. And our story here is how Social Pet Hotel and Daycare here in Charlotte grew to $2 million in revenue in just 5 years. The background is Social Pet launched in one of the most competitive pet care markets in the country, Charlotte, North Carolina. They grew tremendously. They opened a second location, and they've continued to do very well. They've been impacted, but to continue to do very well despite COVID. The problem for many others is they don't choose the same path that Social Pet has because they don't pick the right formula for business. And to grossly oversimplify Social Pet's formula, they invest in people tremendously and then they delegate to them. They personalize all the services to the dogs to help differentiate their business, and they make a profit on virtually everything they do because that's how you fund the business. And in terms of the learning on this and building on this formula, they also, over the past couple of years, they not only just did everything I mentioned, they also added 2 new services, grooming as well as training, to further keep them growing and moving forward. So how this works, you invest in this formula and you focus on working on the business and not in the business. Why it works? Because you're investing in people, pets, and profits, which is the right formula to be successful. And the benefit for you is by staying focused on your end goal and working on the business, you get to your goal in a better way and you achieve it faster. The next area we're going to talk about is diversify. And the story we have here is from a closer bond. They have 2 locations in Palatine, Illinois, and they use diversification to achieve virtually all the revenue they could even handle in 2020, despite COVID. And the background is a few years ago, they had 1 location. It was about 600 square feet. They offered all 4 services, boarding, daycare, training, and grooming. And they were training about 10 to 15 dogs per day. The problem was they needed a way to grow quickly and very profitably. The climax of this story is they launched Board and Train, and they put that in a new 8,000 square foot building. They left boarding, daycare, and grooming back in the 600 square foot building. And in closure, today, Board and Train is 60% of their revenue. It's way more profitable than the other services. And for each dog that signs up for their board and train, they call it residency training, it brings in about $2,800 in revenue per dog. So how does this work? You board the dog for the duration of their stay. You have 1 trainer. You have 1 method. You have plenty time for care, plenty of time to get the best results. And why it works, because you're getting the best results, you have happier employees, you have more growth, and you have better profits. And the benefit for you as the owner is this helps you relax and sleep better, especially during bad times as we're going through right now. The next essential we're going to talk about is celebrating success. And Barcaritaville has 2 locations in Texas. Celebrate success to bring even more success. The context is that Barcaritaville has learned how to link employees celebrating small wins to lead this to far bigger wins. And unlike many other pet care facilities that we've spoken with over the years, Barcaritaville puts the team ahead of the owners. to learn and celebrate success in many, many instances. So the employees end up attending educational conferences, networking, and marketing events. And this has helped lead them to open a second location in San Antonio after their Corpus Christi location. The key learning is you leverage the team's success to help employees grow, and this will build even more momentum for you. How this works is you focus on team education and celebrating not only the wins, but also the learnings. Again, this has led them to be very successful with 2 locations. And the benefits for you is you get to celebrate both learnings and wins, and it keeps you happier and moving forward. The last essential we're going to talk about today are the pillars of sustainability. And the story here is the Kinn team story of introducing 2 powerful industry associations to benefit all of pet care services. The background is more facilities are interested every day in the pillars of sustainability: healthier pets, healthier people, healthier planet, as well as profits. The problem with the situation is there's not a lot of training on this topic, despite the growing demand for the education. The climax is the Kinn team introduced IBPSA and the Pet Sustainability Coalition in 2017. And in 2019, the Pet Sustainability Coalition created a webinar series just for pet care services. And in closure, IBPSA members have access to this multi-program webinar series online 24/7, 365. And even if you're not a member of IBPSA, you can learn a lot by going to the Pet Sustainability Coalition's website. So how does this work? You need to make sustainability a priority. Don't get overwhelmed. Just get started with 1 or 2 initiatives and roll and learn from there. Why it works? Because you end up with healthier pets, healthier people, a healthier planet, and importantly, to make this sustainable for you, healthier profits. And what's one other important benefit for you? It certainly feels great to leave things in better shape for others, doesn't it? And as we're coming towards the end, if you've enjoyed this, and if you are interested in receiving the Innovation Mindset, How to Become an Innovator, complete educational PDF, there's 2 ways you can get it. You can go to our website, kinninc.com, and subscribe, and you'll get one. Or you can email us at marketing@kinninc.com. And we think you'll find a lot of the details in here bring even more clarity to what we've been talking about today. And for those of you who want to learn a lot more about how to be an innovator, here are some fabulous books that the Kinn team members have read recently. Mindset by Carol Dweck is all about creating the growth mindset. It's an amazing book. The next book, Designing Your Life by Bill Burnett and Dale Evans, is all about taking a designer's perspective on life. And I've been in either industrial design or leading industrial designers for over 30 years, and it's all about prototyping, and it's a great book. Switch by Chip Heath and Dan Heath is all about how to create change when change is very hard. The Catalyst is also about how to start change. To be able to message optimally to your staff, to your clients, and others, you need to be a good storyteller. And Craig Wortman from the Kellogg School of Business has written a great book on this called What's Your Story? And the last book that we recommend for now is called Made to Stick. It's also by Chip Heath and Dan Heath. And if you have any other questions, we'd love to have you contact us. You can email us, you can go on our website, and we'd love to hear from you. Again, our website is kinninc.com. You can also reach us by phone at 980-272-6464. And thank you so much for your time and attention today. We hope you got a lot out of this, and we hope to hear more from you soon. Best of luck and everything. Thank you.